Alright guys, it's time to finally do this what if. I know I'm posting this what if really late. I had to do things earlier today and I'm sorry. So there's that. But and also this part is gonna be shorter than the rest because I'm pretty tired guys, and I wanna relax. So yeah, that's what I'm doing that for. But besides the point of it, guys, why don't we just get started with this what if? Alright, guys, let's get started with this what if. As we start off with Naruto, who is now finally getting ready for his final day. And I mean, his final day. Well, actually, not his final day, but he's finally ready for the day to become a Genin. As Naruto will put on his casual wear, the brown boots, the black boots with brown pants, and is his t-shirt, practically what Yami wears. As Naruto, he would then get his black katana, as he would then rush to the arena, or to the training ground, whatever you guys want to call it. As Naruto ends up putting a cigarette into his mouth as he ends up smoking from it. As Naruto would then arrive at the training ground, faster than Sasuke or Sakura could arrive. As Naruto will be there, as we then see as Sasuke and Sakura would then appear. As Sasuke, him being there, looking at Naruto with disgust, as Sakura will do the same thing. But Naruto doesn't care. As Naruto is like, oh wow, Mr. Emo. Wow, hello, your holiness. Hello, holy Mr. Emo. And Sasuke will be pissed and he's like, shut up, dope. And Sakura would say the same thing. Sakura would say, shut it, Naruto Baka. As Naruto would think, this girl is getting on my nerves. As after a couple of hours pass, Kakashi would then arrive. As Kakashi, he would then explain about the rules of the bell test. Team 7 would all agree to this. Mostly Sasuke and Sakura, considering that Naruto was so busy thinking about, what he's gonna do. As we're now gonna see, as Sasuke and Sakura then go, they'll go hide in the forest. As Naruto would be behind, ready to face Kakashi. As Kakashi's like, I see we got an arrogant one here. As Naruto would then say, yeah, you do, I guess you could say. As Naruto would then draw his katana, as he's about to. As Naruto would then say, dark cloak, Alvida slash. As we then see a dark slash getting thrown straight towards Kakashi's eyes will widen, as well as Sasuke and Sakura who are hiding. As Kakashi's like, how, what is this? As Kakashi would then jump up in the air, as he can't believe it. As Naruto would then smirk, as he would then say, alright, take this, dark cloaked. As Naruto's blade would then begin to I'm gonna say this, his thing would begin to glow. As he would then say, dark cloak, Alvida wild slash. As then multiple black slashes would be thrown at Kakashi, as Kakashi had to do a substitution jutsu in order to get out of there. As Naruto, realizing that was a substitution, would be really pissed. And he's like, oh, dang it. As we then see as Kakashi would then come out of the forest, he's like, wow, Naruto, I'm impressed. As Naruto then, smoke from his cigarette, he's like, yeah, thanks. As Naruto would then point his sword straight at Kakashi, as Naruto would then smirk, as he's like, dark cloak, black blade blunt sweep. As we then see as the blade would then darkness would then extend from the blade as it actually ends up piercing Kakashi, as Kakashi can't believe it. As it pierced almost to his stomach, as Kakashi will be holding on to where he just got stabbed. He's like, as Kakashi's like, what the hell? How the hell did he do that? As Naruto would then chuckle as he then says, alright, here I go. As Naruto actually ended up learning something Because Naruto, he's been pushing himself a lot. As Naruto ends up pushing himself all the way to the point where he can learn this. As Naruto would say, dark binding. As in suddenly coming straight out of Naruto's, like, out of actually, like, Naruto's back. Considering like how I said the grimoire is sealed inside Naruto, the grimoire is sort of sealed there. No, like the Naruto will be able to manifest these as dark hands. Well, darkness will then wrap around Kakashi's. Kakashi's like, what the hell? As he tries to pull out or reach out, but it doesn't work. His hand faces right through the darkness. As he's like, what the heck is this? As Naruto would then use his dark magic, or what Naruto thinks is dark, or what Naruto thinks is his chakra to his feet. As Naruto, he, how could I say this? When Naruto ends up using his dark magic, his chakra gets converted into the dark magic. So Naruto, he ends up wasting a lot of chakra when he uses these. As Naruto then charged chakra into his feet, as he would then jump forward at as almost blinding speeds, as Sasuke and Sakura couldn't even see him. As Naruto would then appear right in front of Kakashi, as he's like, well, I guess this is checkmate. As Kakashi is about to get slashed, and he's still stuck in the dark binding, as he's like, no. As then Naruto's about to slash Kakashi until Naruto stops, right before he's about to slash Kakashi's neck. As Naruto then remembers that he shouldn't kill his sensei yet, or like he shouldn't kill him in general, so Naruto ends up putting the blade back, as he ends up just taking away the two bells, as the darkness would then leave from Kakashi, as Kakashi's eyes will widen, as Kakashi would then say, you defeated me. As Naruto, he would just say, yeah, I did, whatever, hey, you two, come out of the bushes. As Naruto was actually able to sense their ki. As we then see as Sasuke and Sakura would then come out of the bushes. Naruto would then throw the two bells towards them, as both of them would catch, as they were confused about why Naruto would do this. As Naruto would then say, well then, sensei, do we pass? As Kakashi he would still be confused, as well as Sasuke and Sakura, as Kakashi would then say that they passed, and that they were free to go. Naruto would then say, sweet, as he would then go to the forest to go train. Sasuke and Sakura and Kakashi had to think about this. Kakashi had to immediately go to the Hokage. However, he didn't realize that the wound that he had from Naruto using the Black Blade blunt sweep, it was still there. As he realized that he still had a dark hole on the side of his stomach, as he ends up, grabbing it, as he ends up going to a medical ninja. As for Sasuke, he actually is now confused but now determined, as he then thinks of Naruto as a rival. As when Naruto ends up leaving, Sasuke actually decides that he's gonna follow Naruto. As for Sakura, she is shocked. However, she instantly forgets about what happened as she taps into that dumb fangirl thing, as she actually ends up following Sasuke. As we didn't see, as Sasuke and Sakura would actually be spying on Naruto. Well, more like Sasuke spying on Naruto and Sakura spying on Sasuke, because Sakura is a stalker, but also Sasuke. As we didn't see, as Naruto can sense their ki, but he doesn't care. As Naruto would then do his training regimen, the Naruto training, as this would go on for almost the entire day, as Sasuke and Sakura were there watching it the entire time. Sakura and Sasuke could not believe it. Naruto pushed his body to the point that they actually even heard Naruto's bones crack at some point, but Naruto kept doing it. Naruto's body and physique was so buff as hell that Sakura blushed, and she also get a slight nosebleed from watching that. Naruto ends up pushing his body so far that it literally Sasuke can see his muscles being restrained. Naruto would then also have been using his magic, as Naruto would actually have pushed himself farther and farther. Naruto would have gotten, for example, when Naruto continued doing the Dark Cloaked Alvida slash, practicing it more and more, as Naruto then pushes himself, as his chakra is almost gone completely. He has chakra exhaustion up to that point, but Naruto keeps going like a mad lad. all the way until Naruto actually ends up pulling it off. One of the most powerful attacks that he has. As Naruto, almost near chakra exhaustion, would then say, "Alright," as he'll then push up, as his muscles begin to restrain himself even further, as Naruto would then scream, "Dark Cloaked! Dimension Slash!" As we then see as a humongous slash that will cut straight through all the mountains that are right behind Naruto, will then be cut into pieces. As Sasuke and Sakura's eyes will widen in this, Sasuke is thinking, this guy, this man, how strong can he get? How can he continue doing that? As Sakura, she's flabbergasted, or whatever that is. She just can't believe that Naruto freaking did that shit. Naruto just pulled that out of his ass like it was nothing. As Naruto didn't smirk, he realized that he just pulled it off. However, as soon as he pulls it off, he ends up passing out as he realized that he's completely out of chakra, as Naruto is unconscious. Sasuke would then come out of the bushes, as well as Sakura, as she ends up revealing her location after she accidentally stepped on a twig. But Sasuke didn't care as he walks up to Naruto. Sasuke would then look down as he sees that Naruto's hands were almost they were red, as Naruto's knuckles would also be completely red as well. As Naruto's body would practically almost be seeming like steaming, as Sasuke, he would then look at that damage that Naruto did as he realized that Naruto was way ahead of him. As Sasuke, he likes this. He wants to get to that. He wants to get to Naruto's level. As Sasuke actually decides that he's gonna stay here and wait until Naruto wakes up. As Sakura, she ends up, wanting to stay with Sasuke. However, Sasuke just tells her to leave him alone, and that he wants to stay here for a little bit. As Sakura, she ends up leaving. We're gonna cut back to Kakashi with a little bit of a flashback. Kakashi, he was actually, after being healed, Hiruzen would actually go up to Kakashi and ask him about what happened, as Kakashi would then explain about Naruto's abilities, which shocked Hiruzen, and he's like, "Hey, yo, this kid is powerful, sheesh." And Kakashi would be thinking the same thing, as both of them are trying to figure out like how strong is Naruto and what was that ability, as Hiruzen tells Kakashi to keep a closer eye on Naruto. As we then see, as Kakashi would actually, agree to this as he would go off. As we're going to cut back to Naruto and Sasuke, as Naruto would actually be in his subconscious. Naruto, being in his subconscious, would actually be confused, as he would then see a big gate appear, as that gate would then show two red eyes looking at him, as Naruto's like, "Oh wow, scary." As Naruto ends up mocking it, as we then see, as the full appearance of it would then be revealed, as it will be the nine-tailed fox, as he'll be looking down on Naruto. As Naruto would smirk, as he's like, now this is more like it. As, the nine-tails is like thinking, what does he mean? As suddenly, something happens, as then a black katana would then appear in Naruto's mindscape, as Naruto just thought of it and it just appeared. As Kuruma's eyes will widen, he's like, wait, what? As Naruto ends up pulling out the blade, he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have to push past so many limits. As Naruto ends up gripping the sword so hard that his hand begins to turn red, as Kuruma is like, chill kid, chill. As Naruto is surprised that the Nine-Tails can speak. However, Naruto actually ends up sensing the Nine-Tails ki, and he can sense that the Nine-Tails really isn't evil or anything. He can sense that he's a pretty good person. As Naruto ends up putting the blade back into his sheath as he puts it on his side. Kuruma would then explain that he is the Nine-Tails Fox, which Naruto said odd V to that, considering that it's obvious he has 9 tails behind him. And practically, Naruto actually wants to know the fox's real name, which would shock Kuruma, considering that no one wanted to know his name. However, Kuruma will actually give Naruto his name, considering that Kuruma has a lot of respect for Naruto. This man, Naruto, pushed past the limit every single day. This man put in that work, and this man's gotta be the buffest person in history that he has ever seen. As Kuruma would then look at Naruto, as he would then say, either way, why are you here? As Naruto would then say that he was just, he got knocked out unconscious, and he looks like he was just transferred here. Which Kuruma would then, make sense of that. Naruto would then look around as he would then see a weird, a weird cage. As this cage seemed like it was going to be accessible, as when Naruto walks over there, Kurama then tells Naruto that, I see that you're looking for your source of power, I see. As Naruto then stops, as he then looks at Kurama, confused. But when he looks back, he'll then see that there was a book there. A book that was just floating inside the cage. As that book seemed closed, but it had dark aura like getting off of it. As Naruto would then say, that's just a book. However, when Naruto then sent his key, he realized that this is familiar. This is the same thing that he uses to fight. As Naruto then realized that this was the power source of everything. This was the reason why he could use black magic and all those different types of moves. Because the book was giving him the names and their information on how to use it. And it looked like the more times he pushed, the more times he could not access it. As Naruto would actually be surprised at all of this information. As Konoha then, chuckled at this, he then says, wow, you are so powerful and yet you are so dumb that to realize that wasn't your power source. As Naruto then say, quiet, Fox, or else I'll beat you up. As the Naruto begin to growl, as he then says, you want to test that, man? As Naruto ends up pulling out his katana, he's like, yeah, let's go. I'll run the ones on you. As, Kurama and Naruto give each other a death stare, as Naruto and Kurama would then laugh. As after after a couple of 3 hours in the mindscape, which is equivalent to like a couple of minutes in the real world, Naruto and Kurama were already best friends. They were drinking, which Kurama was able to. Naruto was actually able to change the mindscape into a bar, and he was also able to make it to where Kurama was actually his size. As Kurama and Naruto would actually just be drinking their fill, and they would be laughing and chuckling. As Kurama is like, hey, yo, you know what? I respect you, dog. As Naruto thinks that as well. As Naruto and Kurama actually ends up fist bumping, as this sort of links Naruto with Kurama, which shocked him. As Kurama will then smirk, and he then says, you know what? I hope you accept and enjoy this. As Naruto would realize that he and Kurama made the link, and now both of them, now Naruto and Kurama Naruto can tap into more power. As Naruto then says, oh yeah, I'm gonna freaking push past my limit with this. As Kurama would then laugh, as Naruto would, as they continue to drink. After Kurama is passed out, and he couldn't hold it for much longer, Naruto, he ends up leaving his mindscape. As when he wakes up, he would then see a, deep in thought Sasuke, as Sasuke was just, looking, as Naruto's like, oh, Mr. Uchiha Royal, I'm sorry that I couldn't make your acquaintance, as you can see. As Sasuke, he would then say, yeah, hey, Naruto? As Naruto realized that, he stopped being that stupid little cocky royal ass and actually talked to him like a person. As Naruto then say, what? As Sasuke would then look towards the direction to where that cut happened, as Naruto would then look there. As Sasuke would then ask Naruto about how he did that, in a calm tone. As Naruto would then realize that Sasuke was actually pretty jealous, and he's like, ah, you're jealous, aren't you? As Sasuke would then say, no, it's just I want to know how you did that. As Naruto would then chuckle, as he then blows from his cigarettes, he would then explain that he just pushed past his limits. As Sasuke would then look at Naruto confused, as he wonders what does that mean. As Naruto would then explain that I just pushed past my limit. Anything that I felt like I couldn't do, or anything, I just pushed all the way until I can do it. As Sasuke then says, like, can you push yourself to fly? As Naruto then chuckles, as he then says, I don't know. I guess I have to find out by pushing myself that far. As Sasuke thought that Naruto was crazy just by saying this. However, he did make him wonder, if Naruto can push past his limits all the way to that, he could do the same. He can become so strong that he can surpass not only his brother, but everyone in the world. As Sasuke would then look at Naruto with sort of inspiration, as Sasuke then asked if he can accompany Naruto in his training method, which would shock Naruto considering that he thought that, the edgelord Sasuke would be the king of all emos. But, now Sasuke is actually talking like a normal person. As Naruto would then chuckle, he's like, sure, you can do whatever you want. I'm just going to be training myself all the way to the brink of it. As Sasuke would now actually accompany Naruto on their training method. As Sasuke was about to go, as Naruto was like, wait, I thought you were going to enjoy my training method. As Sasuke was like, you're not done? As Naruto then chuckled, he's like, of course not. We're going to push past our limit. As Sasuke would then see this, as he now is about to enter a place where he did not want to be. The place where he had to push his body all the way till his muscles were practically destroyed and where his bones were cracked. As Sasuke will begin to regret his decision. As this is where I'm going to end the video. I really hope you guys do enjoy. And if you guys do, then please subscribe and leave a like. But either way, it is Sage Samurai, and I am out. Peace.